What? I eat when I'm upset, okay?
Once again, we delve into the world of the foods we turn to as we look at the top 10 best comfort foods to try before you die, part 2.
Who's hungry?
Yeah! Cupcakes.
Cupcakes! All right, go home and make some cupcakes, honey.
We all know that cake is big comfort food. The spongy goodness can make anyone's day that little bit better and brighter. However, when we don't have time to bake a whole cake, or we feel too bad for eating an entire cake by ourselves, then we can thank our lucky stars that cupcakes exist. A cupcake is like a tiny cake baked in a thin paper mold or an aluminum cup and should typically serve one person. The first mention of a cupcake was in a 1796 cookbook called American Cookery, written by Amelia Simmons. But the term cupcake was only first used in 1828 in Eliza Leslie's Receipts cookbook.
Cupcake a what? Cupcake-inator!
Over the years, cupcakes have become a huge industry, and the name cupcake is now given to any small cake that is about the size of a teacup. Their popularity is probably owed to the fact that they bake much quicker than larger cakes. Chocolate and vanilla are still the classic flavors, while new ones such as raspberry meringue and espresso fudge can also be found in numerous bakeries and cupcake shops around the world. With all the toppings and icing we can get on a cupcake, we don't feel bad for eating them by the half dozen. After all, they are comforting and oh so elegant looking. Barbecue ribs.
Oh boy, this is gonna be the best barbecue ever!
When it's summertime and the barbecue is out, there is nothing better, tastier, or more comforting than a big rack of ribs. Roasting ribs on the barbecue and smothering them in your favorite sauce is a treat that everyone should try at least once. As an American invention, barbecue ribs have become one of the most famous dishes in the world. It is typically prepared with pork ribs, the obvious choice since they tend to be juicier in the bone, which allows the meat to come off easily after the grilling process. In order to give the ribs a distinct taste and texture, they're always well treated before they're grilled.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back ribs.
During grilling, the ribs are repeatedly smothered with a spicy barbecue sauce, which eventually provides the ribs with a luscious, viscous, and slightly spicy external layer. So, no matter how you make them, you're sure to end up with a delicious rack of ribs.
No. One rib.
One rib.
New York-style bagels.
Say it again. Bagel.
As we go through our list of comfort food you need to try, a few items will be a comfort to your sweet tooth. However, there is one comfort food that can be eaten as both sweet and savory, and that's the bagel. Bagels are an iconic New York City food, and they can be enjoyed at any given time of the day with any topping your heart desires. Cream cheese, smoked salmon, chocolate spread, or simply butter, the choice is up to you.
Selecting a bagel. Acts super normal.
Spider-Man?
Bagels are usually boiled and hand-shaped with a hole in the middle. They were originally brought to the United States by Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe, only they weren't exactly the same as we know today. The theory goes that bagels were popular in the Jewish community because the dough needed to rest for 12 hours before being baked, which was convenient for Jews since they could let it rise during the Sabbath, during which work is forbidden. In New York, the bagels are claimed to be the best thanks to the water's softness and their low levels of calcium and magnesium, which tend to toughen up the dough when combined with gluten. You could originally only get 4 varieties of bagels: plain, poppy, salt, or sesame. But nowadays, you can get bagels made with garlic, onion, cinnamon, and raisins, and they're best enjoyed fresh out of the oven and paired with your favorite toppings. There are no limits when it comes to bagels.
Sorry, I had a bite of my bagel and I forgot to pray.
Chicken and waffles.
Date night at DQ with their amazing new chicken and waffles basket.
Fried chicken and waffles might seem like a rather unlikely combination, but anyone who's tried it can attest to how delicious this dish actually is. Chicken and waffles is the perfect pairing of sweet and salty, and soft and crunchy. The dish is thought to have originated in the South by African Americans who rarely had a chance to eat chicken, so it was a meal that was made on special occasions.
TJ, thank God you're here.
How'd you find me?
It's the only chicken and waffle place in all of Holland.
Some food historians claim that chicken and waffles evolved after the Civil War migration of Southern African Americans to the North. But the modern version of the dish was first served in Harlem, New York as early as the 1930s, mostly in jazz nightclubs. Today, restaurants across the country serve the dish, and some have become famous for their versions, with chicken and waffles spreading as far as Los Angeles, where the restaurant Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles has legendary status. When the chicken is perfectly seasoned and fried and is combined with the light and crispy waffle, satisfaction is almost certainly guaranteed.
Before that, you can only get chicken or waffles, but they were the first to put them together.
Ice cream sandwiches.
Ooh!
If there is one food item that is the pinnacle of comfort food, then it's ice cream. The frozen dessert has comforted us all in one way or another for generations. However, while ice cream is the ultimate comfort treat, we actually think that it has been improved upon with the ice cream sandwich. Mixing thick, creamy ice cream with wafers or cookies is comfort turned up to 11. While ice cream has been around in some form for generations, ice cream sandwiches aren't that old. The ice cream sandwich dates back to New York City in the late 1800s. It was allegedly invented by an unknown pushcart vendor in the Bowery who sandwiched vanilla ice cream between two thin wafers. Charging only a penny per ice cream sandwich, the treat became extremely popular.
Yeah, baby, now we're rolling.
Whatever version you decide on, ice cream sandwiches are one of the best comfort foods in the world and a must for the summer.
Well, now my brain and my stomach are sad.
Chicago-style deep dish pizza.
Or I could get a pizza with less toppings for more money.
In the world of pizza, there are many different styles, crusts, toppings, and varieties. While every version has its own merits for being on this list, or in fact any food list, for this entry we are focusing on the Chicago-style deep dish pizza. When it comes to food that will bring us comfort, none come better than this version of the world's favorite food. It all started in the late 1800s and early 1900s when Italian immigrants came to the USA in search of a better life. Ike Sewell and Rick Ricardo opened Pizzeria Uno in Chicago and began serving a new type of pizza, one in a deeper dish with inverted layers of cheese, meat, and tomatoes, all with a crunchy crust. No longer an immigrant tradition, Chicago-style deep dish pizza is now one of Chicago's cultural and culinary icons. The dish is not just popular in Chicago, but all over the world. And its popularity is evident in the fact that there is even a National Deep Dish Pizza Day, celebrated every year on April 5th. Thick, hearty, and crispy, Chicago-style deep dish is the perfect cheesy treat for pizza lovers throughout the world.
Oh my God, Leona, I need the best Mr. Pizza you've ever made.
Why?
Look
Cheesesteak.
at him. Raw, uncooked, uneducated.
Apparently, if you're ever in Philadelphia, you don't even need to ask for a cheesesteak. All you need to say is the type of cheese you want and your toppings. Pretty easy, right? The Philly cheesesteak consists of thinly sliced pieces of steak, melted cheese, all in a long and crispy hoagie roll. It was first invented in the 1930s at Pat's King of Steak, which is now a Philadelphian institution. The restaurant started out as a regular hot dog stand, but everything changed when a hungry cab driver drove by and smelled the delicious concoction Pat was making. He was whipping himself up a quick lunch with sliced ribeye steak and cooked onions. The cab driver wanted one, and soon enough, the hot dogs were out of the window and cheesesteaks became the new norm. The sandwich was originally made without cheese, but in the 1960s, the cheesy goodness made its first appearance. Now, one of the most popular fast foods in Philadelphia, the Philly cheesesteak is sure to satiate the hungriest of customers. Even if you're not from Philly, the cheesesteak is available in most areas and can even be made at home and is a must-try comfort food.
Ooh, almost done. Tears for salt. Meat prepared sous vide.
Onion rings.
I want onion rings. It's a donut.
When it comes to the ultimate savory comfort snack, most people will reach for French fries. Whether home-cooked or from your favorite fast food joint, fries are a great comfort snack. However, when it comes to something deep-fried, golden, and tasty, there is something even more comforting out there, and that's onion rings. Onion rings are a popular side dish item that is usually served alongside burgers or other fast food varieties, usually accompanied by ketchup, mayonnaise, or some other dipping sauce. They can also be eaten by themselves as great comfort food. This popular side dish is made by dipping rings of onion in batter, then deep frying them until golden and crispy. It is still unknown who made the first onion ring, but the earliest recipe for this caloric side dish was found in John Molin's 1802 cookbook, The Art of Cookery Made Easy and Refined.
One ring to rule them all.
The recipe suggested that the ring should be fried along with Parmesan cheese. Onion rings are so popular that there is even a National Onion Ring Day, celebrated every year on June 22nd. They even have their own day. That's how good they are.
Give me one utterly delicious milkshake, skinny calf, and order of onion rings.
Meatloaf.
Hi, Lois. It's a great morning, no matter how you slice it.
Meatloaf is a dish celebrated for its simplicity and versatility and has always been either beloved or hated with a passion. Made from ground meat, most commonly pork and beef, meatloaf is formed using a special mold, which is what gives it its unique log shape. Once it's baked, the meatloaf is usually sliced and served with a side of mashed potatoes and vegetables, all doused in a juicy gravy, of course. As you may have noticed before, meatloaf isn't exactly the most high-end meal there is. No, it's more of a comforting and nutritious meal that can easily be prepared with very few ingredients. Now, the Americanized version of the meatloaf was invented during the Great Depression in the 1930s.
Oh, yuck, meatloaf. My most hated of all loaves.
The reinvention in the United States has coincided with the technical advancements, and the first time meatloaf was mentioned in print was 1899, around the same time as the invention of mechanical meat grinders. Such a long history for such a simple meal.
Free. Look, it's nutritious, it's delicious.
The burrito.
Let me go to Big Head Joe's for you. They have the most insane burritos.
When considering the best comfort foods, there is always a debate about which is better, tacos or burritos. For this list, we went with burritos, as they are usually more filling and versatile than tacos. You can simply fill up your tortilla with so many tasty things until it practically explodes. So how could we not side with the burrito? The filling typically consists of a combination of various ingredients such as meat, beans, rice, lettuce, guacamole, and cheese, among others. Its name means little donkey in Spanish, and a popular theory suggests that it stems from the way the bedrolls and packs looked on the donkeys that carried them.
Well, I've got a talking donkey.
Right.
Once the burrito became popular across the United States, numerous variations of the dish started appearing, such as Thai chicken burritos, Chinese pork burritos, and the very popular and comforting breakfast burrito.
Hey, I was in the middle of my burrito song! Burritos are so much better!
Stay for seconds and tap or click another great video. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.